Oh, there you go. We're live.
Welcome back to the Call of the Hunger. Roll for initiative.
You promised.
Just kidding. We got a lot to get through as we dust off the cobwebs of the holiday season and get back into the throw of things. For unlike us, your adventurers don't get a holiday. Last time we left off, you guys had just had a nice conversation with the Flayoon Ambrosia, and that conversation ended with her basically being like, I'm gonna take chemo now, and you guys being like, we don't work for you no more. And so she said, okay, well, basically, we're going to leave amiably, but you guys don't necessarily have like a foot in the door to come back, so to speak. Ambrosia tried to lean on the tribal ties of Bull, and Bull wasn't having it. As she was trying to basically get you guys to escort Chemo in to basically be a bartering chip with the Viven tribe. But as that conversation was being had, all hell broke loose in the camp. And what began, what is known now as the Great Fire began, as the detritus of Ambrosia's work camp got set ablaze, and the Tekeknu slaves revolted in an attempt to escape. That ended up being quite the treacherous run as you guys tried to escape the forest fire that ensued. And you managed to get away from the snatches of Azralam. And as you guys kind of reconnoitered, finally a hint of light started to peek out as the telltale sign that the light fade was soon ending. But that does not signal the end of all of your worries, as a couple of you in the party are starting to succumb quite heavily to the hunger itself, and fear that you may lose your grip on your identity as a whole. Having happened once before to Bull, as he blacked out and rampaged with this previous party waking up in the fields on the outskirts of Lemoore. And so you guys decided to take flight towards Bracken Bastion in a hope to get out of here and get some much-needed TLC and report back to Lemoore. However, your trip is not without more and more guests, as you seem to be running through a contested war front now between the Flame Sillin and their adversary, the Deerman tribe, who have allied with the Tekeknu, and with the Keepers of the Dryads. And so, as you guys attempted to get toward the Bracken Bastion, you were stopped. Now, as you ran through Sillin territory, you were stopped by a Sillin leader of a pact, who is a beastman by the name of Julian. He had a few of...
We're getting an echo.
Oh. I will mute myself. Better?
Yep.
Cool, thank you. And so, as you guys ran across Julian, he said, don't worry about killing my comrades, actually. This just gives us the excuse that we need to call for the trials of submission. And what that is essentially there has been kinslaying afoot in the woodlands. And they have a rule where if a certain amount of tribes are involved in the kinslaying, that it is, instead of being handled from tribe to tribe, basically a summit can be called where they can attempt to anoint someone as leader of all of the clans to get them through whatever is causing so much turmoil, and be basically the speaker of this. And so they said, hey, you know what? You guys are all witnesses of said kinslaying. The big kind of chink in this was that Emery and Oliver were from the Nintonga tribe way up north. And so that kind of was that extra straw in this. And Bull, obviously of Flayoun, was part of the kinslaying as well. So they said, hey, that's important. I'm going to run this by my boss. And you guys are like, we don't have enough time to wait for your boss to come over here and talk to us. And so they said, all right, no problem. You brokered a deal. Dyra Hartmain, the boss of Julian, is going to meet you at the Bracken Bastion. And so runners were sent, and you guys were left with about a day's trip still ahead of you to get to, or 24 hours trip to get you to the Bracken Bastion, and that is where we left off. Oh, also, you're headed to Lemoore. You are really pressed for time. You're kind of on a razor's edge, and the reason why time is sensitive is because you're trying to get there by the next Twillet. Because if you do, you can still be good on your agreement with the researcher who is working for the
Corp?
Ammo Corp. Yep. And that basically was that you guys are going to kill someone in the Crucible for them, or in the Slag Grinder for them. And that basically gives you points for them. You guys are trying to make sure that you don't sully that relationship. So, with that, great adventurers! What do you do as you are hanging out with Julian and attempting to make your way in the dead of night toward the Bracken Bastion?
Let's see.
I mean, our druid lady is probably the leader because she's the most nature-y and magic-y.
Yeah, you speak their language.
Yeah, I can definitely lead the way. I'm a little nervous in general about the trials, right? I don't know what everybody else thinks of them, but I'm also nervous to talk about them in front of the guy who's walking with us, right? Because Julian's there with us.
Mm-hmm.
So
with a whole squad of siblings.
I think I'm gonna talk to them as we're walking. And just I'll get into character. Sorry, it's been a bit.
Yeah.
So about these trials. So, are you thinking this is gonna be like a thing that takes us a long time? We're kind of pressed for time, and not sure I understand fully what the whole plan is with those in general.
The trials. They will be settled far from now.
Can you guys hear that? Him?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Sorry.
But first, we must come to an accord. We must gather you and your ilk and present them and bring the other tribes to heel. Dyra of the expectations of you moving forward.
Okay, sure. I can talk to Thyra a little bit more about that then, but on another note, I mean, I guess kind of related. I mean, it seems like tensions are really high right now, and I agree with the whole idea. Maybe everybody should back away from this whole war thing and not be all against each other and everything. But have you guys been feeling I don't know, unnaturally on edge or bloodthirsty?
Cinder is strong. Blood is in the air. It goes in waves. It is not unusual, though, to feel him as a warrior. Clearly it is he who wants this. Blood to be spilt, wrongs to be righted in the most carnal of ways.
You're gonna fuck?
No!
I like blood to be spilt, and you're like, fucking.
Well, you said the most carnal of ways.
There's
I don't know how
other
you
ways
hear
to be
elves get it on.
Oh boy. Let's take it a different direction. Different direction.
No. Even my present stat isn't very good, but my athletics.
Julian looks over at you.
For some, yes. But on the battlefield.
Oh boy.
So, say that this is the will of Cinder. Which, no. You met people could certainly understand that sentiment. The drive to solve conflicts through martial prowess and violence. My question is, how long has the Call of the Hunger been going on for you?
Gin is sweet and intoxicating. This conflict has been on the eaves for years. But it has crested into its
Guess I wouldn't because of the circumstances, but
You don't
Wow.
feel like the calls changed recently from Cinder?
His will is punctuated. He longs for a fight of supremacy. The injustices of the woodlands, this fateful carnation, this blight, it must be rectified. It must. I feel it in my bones. For 3, 9, 4 twillets, it is called and pushed and pressured.
do you know if anybody has entered? Okay, sorry, this is to Amory. Where did you encounter that plague on the water? What geographic region?
So that was in the there's a body of water to the north. Do you have the map?
Yep.
Okay. It was the Crystal Tarn.
Yes,
I
it
think.
was.
So, it's this big lake to the east that the White Flow flows from.
It flows from the mountains down into the ocean.
Yeah. So the Crystal Tarn, and then it flows. Yeah, the White Flow flows from it. It's just north of Lemoore.
So, perhaps
Oh, shoot.
someone entered the woodlands from the Crystal Tarn around that time. Now, that is not the purview of the Scylla. I also imagine, based on our own experiences as outsiders, that the woodlands are well aware of when outsiders enter their borders.
So, to recap on the Crystal Tarn and what you guys pieced together with the help of Leanne and Shay, and Emery's notes from the ship she found out there, there was a massive thing in the Crystal Tarn. Some creature that had presumably died and floated up from the depths of it. And it was being inspected and researched when it infected the people on the ship, the research vessel, and killed everyone aboard. Then her ship stumbled into this, and people got really sick, herself included, and it was Wretch who saved her in the very first episode of Call of the Hunker.
Right. So, I recall all of that.
Yeah.
But, Leanne Shay, didn't she say something about, Cinder eating something unpleasant? I distinctly remember that.
Yep. So she referred to something that you guys identified, or you guys pieced together as a parasite. She called it Cinder's little baby, and it was nursing off of Cinder. And basically the pieces that you guys had put together was that someone was dumping stuff into the Crystal Tarn. And the research group was like, found this dead thing that floated up and pieced together something probably like came off of that, or was born from that, or is associated with that, and that maybe you guys are pontificating on whether or not it like traveled down the white flow somehow, and Cinder might have gotten sick by eating it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that just trying to track that, because that's probably when the Call of the Hunger turned murderous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you said 3 or 4 toilets, right? So.
Yeah. So, the Call of the Hunger, basically how it was, because we already had this conversation. So it seemed like in what's his face, Wallaby mentioned that it might be that like maybe Cinder's trying to burn this thing out. Right? He's got a fever. He's got a parasite.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that kind of covers.
Yeah, well, I'm also, like, I remember all of that, but I'm trying to see if there was a point where the Scylla would have been able to, or were tracking Cinder's movements, so that you could pinpoint a time or an area where he had that parasite attached to him.
Okay. Certainly, you can approach Julian if you'd like to see if you can try to ferret any of that out.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Is like asking. Sorry, I should have been more specific, but I would like to ask Julian directly. So 4 toilets ago, when the Call of the Hunger, at least from what I'm understanding that you're saying, when that changed, were any of the woodland tribes tracking Cinder's movements? Is that something that's been done in the past?
This is a meadow wander as they will. God. Swallow your ilk. We do not pretend to control the this world stacked in such ways. He plies his trade in the woodlands, and for that, your kind do not infest us and tear down our trees. The woodlands are respected.
I suppose I'm asking because I have very strong reason to believe, based on what what one of our comrades has seen of Cinder lately, the experience of the Call of the Hunger over these past several toilets, and information that we've gathered that Cinder has a parasite and a fever, and we're trying to understand its cause and potentially how to, if not treat the fever, to ease his pain, I suppose.
Can you give me an interpretation roll? It's investigation/interpretation.
Yeah.
You. You get to do the first roll.
Investigation.
I suspect it wouldn't be as easy as just pointing me where he is and I wave my fingers.
Shit! I got a 1.
One success? Okay. Oh, he rolled
Yeah.
one threat. So looking at him as you start talking, you see that when you started talking about an investigation and maybe parasites and study, you lost his attention. Like he is not an academic or anything like that, and he seems like parasites aren't really like a thing that they are typically worried about on a day-to-day basis, sort of thing. You know what I mean? So you get the fact that you're talking to like you're run-of-the-mill soldier who's also bloodthirsty right now.
I wonder if and this is in character. I wonder
Cinder
if
is sick. Health fix.
maybe people at the Bastion might be able to, have more insight on this sort of thing. When I see that his eyes kind of glazed over.
Yeah, gods, those scroll sniffers, those
Okay.
word walkers.
And unless you guys have something else that you want to ask, I'll assume that time passes as you guys are wandering through the forest, or marching through the forest towards the Bracken Bastion. However, there is one more night between here and there, which means that I'm going to need everyone to consume a food and heal one and recover all strain, or you can choose not to eat and take a damage. And then I'm going to need everyone to do a willpower check. But one thing to note before we do is that your beloved Wretch has been getting, through his studies, has been getting a little bit better at helping with the effects of the Call of the Hunger. So just to remember, Wretch, you can spend your night, your watch, to either scry the effects of the hunger on someone, or to use the help action during their hunger check, so you can give them a boost die. Sorry, help action would allow them to use your willpower as you sit down and basically attempt to stave that off of them. You also have that black rind tea, which is one rare ingredient, and that staves off the effects of the hunger for a whole day. You've also figured out how to get a hold of a Fey Skunk Vapor Rub, which is also a rare ingredient that works very similar to the black rind tea. But yeah, so figured I'd throw that all out there.
I have some of that rub, so I'd like to use that for this day's check.
Okay, sounds good. So the Fey Skunk Vapor Rub is going to, where the black rind tea staves off the effects of the hunger, the Fey Skunk Vapor Rub will immediately make you just pass your check then.
Okay.
I think Bull should have some tea.
Okay. I will help. Well, so what was the one where they can use my willpower?
That is you're spending, that's what you're doing during your watch at night. So you're going to sit and you use your magic to channel your god and stave off the hunger.
I'll do that. I don't have a ton of tea, so if Emery's using one of her rubs, then I'll save the tea for a different night when everybody needs it.
Okay.
That's fine.
Like I said, I think Bull should have a tea.
So the tea is just going to make you go down to being a normal human being for a day. It's not. It doesn't necessarily affect the checks. But do you want the vapor rub?
I think
What I'm
he-
saying is, I think I'm saying Bull should have a tea, or else this engagement with these people probably might not go well.
Oh, throughout
Yeah.
the day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's different. So we're getting through the check right now, right?
So we just kind of paraphrase the day, but I would say that Bull comes to you and asks you for some of that tea as he's gripping and kind of sweaty palming the handle of his axe, which you can take care of that
Yeah, but
before we
yeah,
get to the
I'm just trying to understand the application of the tea. Does it pass him this check, or does it make him good for tomorrow, but we'll still have to do the check?
It'll make him good for the 24 hours, but you'll still have to do the check.
Okay, yeah, then sure, you can have tea. But speaking of the check, I'll do the thing where I stay up, and during my watch, I channel and try and help them.
Okay.
So two different things, but sure, you can have tea.
Damn right, I can have tea.
I got it too.
Okay. Okay. Next.
So Bull, for this check, does he get to use my will, or does he get to use my resilience?
You
I mean,
can
sorry,
use
my discipline.
either, but not both. He can pick
Okay.
one or the other.
Yeah, and is this a discipline check or a raw willpower
It's
check?
a discipline check.
Okay. So my discipline is 2 yellows and 2 greens, which is what I normally roll. My willpower is just 4, so.
Yeah.
I will
Feeling
roll
I'm-
discipline.
Okay, so you
Okay.
can take his willpower and add it into there. Or you can swap your willpower with his willpower of 4, or you can swap your discipline with his discipline of 2.
I see.
So I'm not rolling 2 yellows and his 2 yellows and 2 greens.
No, he's just lending you either his willpower or his discipline
Yeah,
ranks.
Your choice is 2 yellows or 4 greens, looking at your sheet.
Looking at my sheet.
Yeah, I looked at your sheet to know what Josh was talking about.
Okay. I'm going to roll 4 greens.
Alright.
Hell yeah.
Two and 2.
Alright. And then I need Wretch to roll for himself. And Emery.
Green 2.
Green 2? Okay.
I just
Oh,
didn't want
and
to
then Emery
interrupt the
doesn't
current
need to
flow.
auto passes because of the vapor. Alright. You all managed to keep your shit together.
Woo!
That's good, baby.
So far, so good.
You wake. It is still nighttime. But maybe there's just a sliver of sherbet to the sky briefly for about 2 hours. But you carry on, and eventually, about 3 or 4 hours into your following day, you finally see Bracken Bastion, this giant fort on the stump of a tree cut off the ground about 200 feet up. Massive tree with a fort on top, and then a bunch of little outsized outbuildings in the surrounding canopy with this giant steel mesh net kind of over the span between all of the trees that make up the canopy and the hole that would be above the fort. Presumably basically a huge deterrent for things like dragons and griffins and stuff like that. As you guys approach, you have to take some of these small side bridges in order to be able to go from the massive bowls that you guys are traveling along and make it toward a landing for one of the outbuildings. One thing that you notice is that the place seems to be I wouldn't, how to put it, you don't really see anyone as you approach, but you see signs of habitation. There is smoke coming from the main central fortification. There are torches lit and set at regular intervals throughout the facility, but no one at first sight as you approach. Do you guys want to give a customary horn toot or shout or anything like that as you approach, or are you guys just gonna waltz in?
I'm gonna follow the lead of the locals, and if they don't do anything, I'm not gonna do anything.
Okay. Leaving it to the locals, Julian would hail, and you see that he pulls out a small, it looks like a small whistle or a flute, and plays just one tune, and it's pretty shrill, pretty loud, and they wait about a minute before the main fortification, the huge double doors open up, and walking out is a gentleman who seems to have a rather weather-checked face, with the semblance of, it's not quite a goatee because it's got right here and right here filled out a little bit, and he's got a tan buttoned up shirt, and he seems to be applying some sort of salve as he's rubbing his hands together. This rather older, burlier, barrel-chested gentleman with white hair set on a purple skin. So it's a very almost like, what's the wine-esque color, like a wine stain colored skin. As he comes out and basically makes eye contact with Julian as he next to you grimaces, and Wallaby saddles forth and says, "Come on, guys. Rothradine? My God, it's good to see you." The gentleman kind of raises his hands up and with two fingers returns the wave to you, Emery. Wallaby, good to see you again. Why don't you come on a little closer and makes it a bit easier for conversation. As he basically approaches you guys, and with a wave, you guys can all enter into the facility through the large stone circular protection, as well as all of the inlay enchanted protection of the gold and platinum rings that have been set and scripted throughout this area, almost looking like a cobblestone spider web. And as you guys enter, you immediately feel the effects of the hunger ebb. It doesn't go away completely, but it is one of those items where it feels like you just took off a backpack you didn't know you were wearing.
Nice.
Oh, that's a relief. Okay.
Bull doesn't understand.
feels very tense out there. I'm glad to be out of it again.
Oh. Usually I feel the weight on my chest as I approach, but maybe I've just missed home. You always been different from your kin, Wolverine. Oh, hold on now. Always meant in the best of tones. You know that. Glad to see your friends here didn't get picked off by Tengu.
That was
Emery?
close.
Hi. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm still wearing his feathers on my head and his skull.
Yeah.
Very good. I was hoping. She will be mighty happy that made it to you. Well, we got plenty of space if you're looking just to bed down for the night, but, Julian, you know, we're not picking sides in what's going on in this affairs around here.
Neutral party. Can't say that I mind. In this case, it is quite favorable.
Yeah. Favorable indeed. Say. You're welcome to stay, but this is not a place for you to strike out from, you know that.
There'll be no striking out here. Quite frankly, we were hoping the Bracken Bastion would be a place, neutral territory. Mayhaps we have room for peaceful accords.
And Rockwoodine kind of rolled his eyes at this a little bit. Kind of seemed like, sure.
Is that so, Wallaby? As a matter of fact, yes, they seem to think that, a call of the trials of submission are in order.
Well, that's their right by any means. Say, Emery,
Yeah.
Tane's got that information you were looking for, back in the keep. I can summon it for you, if need be.
I would love to talk to him. Yeah, I was hoping to catch up with G too if she's around.
Of course.
One thing at a time.
Is, Jackal around by chance? No? No, he left rather abruptly. Oh. That's unfortunate. We have, important information for Jackal that I really need to get a hold of. Oh, you left that beast, you know, that, little furry red marsupial in his office. He needed to get a hold of him. Well, suppose we'll get on to that. We got a lot to catch up on. I said, we've got a lot to catch up on. Rotterdam, why don't we get some food, sit down a little bit for a little while? Sure. I'll go get G and Tayan. We can meet in the central chambers. You know where the pot is. Cauldron's always warm. And with that, he makes towards one of the towers where he gestures toward where Tayan was. And Wallaby starts to escort you guys into the dining hall for basically, as you guys enter into this chamber, it's a lot of really old wood on the interior, and it looks like it's almost black in color at this point, whether it be from stains or like spills over time. It does look like it's very well treated and quite frankly even polished to a sheen in here. But the furnishings are simple in nature. In the far side, you see that there is a large central fireplace that has a bit of an adornment to it that is the only accents to this rather sparse chamber, and it has a rather large skull mounted above the fireplace of some strange beast that the only thing that's really discernible at this immediately is that it would be harrowing to see if it was alive. And there are several other doors that lead to other areas off of the main central keep.
And like from the back, as soon as Bull sees that creature, he's like, "Oh, those are quite fun to ride."
Nice.
Well, I'll take your word for it. And Wallaby goes ahead and starts dishing up. There's a cauldron of what seems to be a heavily seasoned stew of sorts, and there is also a spit of meat that appears to be meager in size, actually. So you can have your fill, sit down, whatever it is you'd like. As you guys sit down, is there anything that you would like to do? Talk to Julian. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep going.
Just for theatrics, since Bull is more or less back to normal, he's kind of going back into bodyguard mode for Wallaby, so he's going to kind of be like shadowing Wallaby everywhere.
Okay. Wallaby immediately heads out of the chamber, and after getting everyone situated, anyways. And as you follow him, he goes into a back room, and you see that there is parchment, and he grabs parchment, ink, and quill, and comes back out and starts sitting down back to the chamber, and starts sitting down and writing rather fervently. But taking his time, you see, he stops and thinks about and chews over his words as he pieces together this note. In the back room where there was that study, there is a rather large cage, a rather large bird cage, and in it is a strange creature. It looks a lot like a rather large chipmunk if it was bright red and had wings. And it has blue and yellow into its wings as well, and a long tail with almost a fiery-like tip to the tail itself. It squawks at you as you guys enter the room, and it reaches over and it grabs a nut off of the ground, a walnut, and throws it through the bars.
I eat the nut.
Nice. Are you shadowing Wallaby as well?
Yeah.
Okay. What's everyone else doing?
I will either be talking to my brother or the guy from the library, depending on who is around.
Okay. So it's just Oliver, Julian, and probably about 8 other Sillin as you sit down. But Oliver looks around. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, this is the first time Oliver's ever seen this place. Wow.
I think he was in my head, right?
Yes, he was, though.
He was.
I suppose
He's seen it.
he'd seen it all through,
But not-
through you, technically.
Not in his own body.
These places, they're much more vivid when you're here. Your adventures must have been wild, sister.
I mean, you've been by my side the whole time. It's just now, I mean, you have your own life back. Which, speaking of, brother, I mean, you have your own life back. I have duties here to my new friends, but you could do whatever you wanted, and that's just something to think about.
Yeah, I know. I've just never done anything without you. Hard to see that now that you've had a chance to spread your wings. I mean, you're cut from different cloth. And
Just
I don't think I have it in me to tag along anymore. I'm afraid I'll just end up right back from where you grabbed me.
Just because we're cut from different cloth doesn't mean that we both aren't, you know. Oh, I'm so bad with my words. You know what I'm trying to say. You always know what I'm trying to say.
It's okay, sister. I know you love me.
I do, brother, and that's part of it. I don't want you to be in danger either, and this place is a great place, and it's safe, it's secure. They have a lot of cool things that they're looking into that might be of great interest to you. That's kind of actually why I wanted to talk to Ji. I thought maybe you and her would get along well, and you might be able to help her with her research and into runes and magic and all of that. She might be very interested in your experiences that you've had. And
You hear, and there is this small of stature, dwarfish in height woman who has a bowl in her hand as she's looking at the table. She seemingly has come up, dished herself up without anyone noticing, and patted her feet over and has been listening. And she goes, I remember you, me, but this one is new. And she puts her finger up as she scuttles over towards Ilya and goes, how's the headdress going here? She kind of starts examining it, putting her hands up as she set her bowl down, putting her hands up and like checking it over, making sure that the inscription, so the script is still there. What does it have?
Well,
say 8 charges left.
yeah, it survived. Survived me getting crushed by a slab of obsidian in the engine of creation.
Oh,
So that's a sign of her craftsmanship.
that sounds like a story. Have you had a chance to use it yet, though? I'm more interested in... Is it operating as it should? Have you been able to cloak yourself from prying eyes?
Didn't I use that in Lemoore
Yeah.
when we were trying to get back in the city? I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, you should have its stats in
Yeah.
your sheets.
Yeah, I have its stats. It's just anytime we run into something, typically it catches us by surprise, and my focus is killing. The one time that I recall using it, it was effective.
Yeah. Keep in mind, too, that you can use it defensively. If you're, like, super wounded or something like that, you can just go invisible.
I'm the invisible man.
We've had invisibility this whole time.
Part of it. Part of the time.
it's just one person at a time, which is,
She kind of reaches forward and, like, gently touches some of the feathers. You'll have to come back if there's... if you overheat it, but the enchantment should last a while still.
Okay.
You spoke of an apprentice?
me? Or
Yeah.
oh, well, yes. So, well, although you think you haven't really met my brother here before, we have talked about him extensively. This is Ollie. I thought you might be very interested to meet him. I know last time we talked, you remember we were talking about other options, but, well, here he is in the flesh.
He was your possession.
Possession? Oh.
Possessed you. He's the one.
Technically correct, but not how you use that word.
Yeah, right.
Pads over. How did you reincarnate?
That's kind of, funnily enough, kind of tied to that thing with the slab and what was that place? Eye of Asralan?
Corpus Corpus.
Yeah.
You went to Corpus.
Yeah, that's the place.
She pulls up, and you hear the chair go across the floor, and she like hops down, scoots it forward. I have to know everything.
It was a place of primordial chaos and destruction. Wretch and I died.
You got better.
Yeah, Wretch willed himself back into existence. I was very impressed. And then brought me back to life because the energy coursing through that place was unimaginable, even to somebody who knows less than nothing about magic.
Hold on.
There was...
She jumps out of the table, off the table, walks over to Wallaby, goes. She grabs some of the paper that he brought over, pulls that out from underneath his stack, and goes, "Unless you took notes, I need these." He goes, "Well, hey." And then she grabs the quill out of his hand in the inkwell, and carries it over and starts scribbling. Wallaby sighs and gets up for more paper.
So Bull, seeing that, kind of looks at Wallaby and kind of like points at her, like, should I go get that?
Yes, more paper, please. And another inkwell.
So apparently, not hearing my question correctly, I walk over to where the woman sits down and grab the pen, the quill, and the paper out of her hands again and carry it back to Wallaby.
She gives you the death stare of that only these small of stature women can actually give. That's like, yeah, I know how small I am. I don't care. I'm gonna kill you. And Wallaby goes, and slides back over and gets up and starts walking back to the office for more.
place was an erupting volcano, an earthquake, and a hurricane all in one. In the process of reviving me or resurrecting me in that place, I lost some of what I am. But I do have sand from there that's mixed with my blood. Hoping to do something with that.
As you were
Maybe put
talking
it in
about
some
this, Tayan and Rotherdine walk in, but you can continue. They start dishing themselves and sitting back down with you guys.
Well, and you may want to show her, because I'm not sure it's just your blood, really. It might even have some of your soul. So...
Well, I have to see this sand.
We still have the blood sand.
Yeah, I think Bull's carrying it.
Who's got the jar of dirt?
That'd be Bull.
You big
'Cause
fella.
apparently I'm the only one with pockets.
Because my pockets exploded.
You big
Are
fella.
you still naked?
No, I had clothes. It's just I don't have other stuff.
Armor.
I don't have anything
It's just
hard.
not. It's.
You don't have anything hard.
No.
Your sword is floppy.
Yes.
Okay.
I slap people so hard it gives them a welt that bleeds.
All right, DM. That's canon.
Nice.
So helpful.
The long arm of Azralan is quite flaccid.
Oh. Oh.
The sad oh.
You big man. That sand will do you no good. Please, Pass it.
I need that.
Damn it! What the hell's your name?
Ilya?
Yes, Ilya. I look at Ilya and I'm like, she wants your sand goo. Do I give it to her?
I'm gonna take it from Bull and then look at her and say, like, I need this back. Because I think it has pieces of me in it, my soul. And I want to put this on something that I can wear.
If you think that you can use it to put it on something that you can wear, go ahead. I would love to help with the process, though. As a master
Yes,
enchanter.
I would like to enchant some armor to put on me, because my armor exploded when I died.
I would have to study it first. But it is yours. Do what you will with it.
Please, yes, please study it. I just want to make sure you understand.
She grabs it immediately, starts looking at it.
Be careful.
Yeah. I used to know math once. I'd begin there.
I don't know where that went. There's no calculators here either. This is gonna be a problem.
Yes. If Oliver, if you've been to the if you've come from Corpus, I very well might have use for you. What other skills do you have? Well, I can train dogs and garden. She kind of looks over. Rotherdag goes, Don't you speak ill of those talents. We need trainers, tamers, and gardeners just as much as we need enchanters. You know that.
And his experiences would be invaluable to you too if you're interested in this sort of thing. He saw it alongside us, so you can always ask him more questions than we can give you in the day we're here.
Yeah, I mean, I was dead. I can tell you about that. Yes.
You met Lord Azralam.
You met?
Oh,
You
are
met
we
a
leaving
god.
him behind?
Yeah,
They're working up to it. They're working up to it.
I know. I'm speaking in character.
Oh, okay.
Someone respond in character, please, Mr. GM man. I don't know if you know the protocol here.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear. I'm so used to like gravitating towards thinking of Shinz's voice that I didn't catch in.
No.
Are you leaving him here?
Well, I think that would maybe be best. It's a kind of a dangerous on the road, and well,
That is for Diamond.
sure.
Yeah, Dyra. Okay, I'm gonna walk over to my pal here. I'm gonna put my arm on his shoulder and be like, "Hey, bud, you said something about your adventures are so much more vibrant on the outside world.
I mean,
You were probably sheltered from a lot of horrific, awful things. Do you remember several times where your picture box went black for a while? And then the next thing you saw was this face? Those times were not exciting, okay? So if you see a birdman falling from the sky, or lightning beetles, or giant thieves that are trolling through a
Squids.
river,
It's a
run
giant
away.
Ghost squid.
I gotta be honest, just in the short time that I've been with you guys, I mean, things that I saw through Emery's eyes was horrifying, even as I was. In the time I've been out, it hasn't been a cakewalk either. And I think that maybe being an apprentice here could be an easier life, more suited to me, and I can give back this way. It sounds like this place really needs help.
They sure do.
As you can see, it's just me and G here right now. And you, Wallaby. We could use some help. A lot
We
of
forget
folks
he's
felt
here,
the
too.
call and head on out. Stop the profane
Well, we also got Hanubo, but he's a bit indisposed. And G seems to be broken from her studious trance or transfixion she's been in this whole time, and gets a bit morose at the thought of Hanubo.
That's her old boyfriend, right? That we like went
That
and
is
found.
her boyfriend.
Or the guy who we like. She asked us to go
Yes.
find, and we found, and he was real grumpy.
Yes.
That guy was a dick.
Okay.
Yeah, Hanubo's, well, at least he's found help in meditation, but he still doesn't quite trust himself.
Is he not, well, I don't know if this is the right way to put it. Maybe, Wretch, you might have a better way to put it, but is he, like, better from, the hunger? He seemed a little...
Maybe it's
Tense.
best if I bring you to him. He can
I don't know if
explain.
that's best. He was not happy to see us the
He
first
never
time.
liked us very much.
Very well. He's found peace in meditation, but it's still not easy. He has to be at it every day. It's come
Being
too
a nice
close.
person is hard. Just ask Paul.
He does his best.
His best is an effort.
Yeah.
Hey, for the majority of the time you guys have known Bull, he's been affected by the hunger, alright?
Yeah, considering his stature, and his capacity for violence, he's directed it away from us 99% of the time.
You said you met a god.
Yes, we met Lord Azerlan, and he added an enchantment to my sword.
Julian looks at you, like the other, all of the other Wallund look over in your general direction and kind of, they're transfixed now by the conversation as it's turned to something that they're more familiar with. And she goes, "Would you mind if I looked at your sword?" You don't get asked that every day.
Uh-huh. Hey now, it's just been a while. Yeah, I hand her my sword in its sheath.
She pulls it out and reverently sets it down, and everyone in the room seems to be transfixed by it. Like it is a glowing masterpiece. And you see that the trained eye of G is looking over it and actually reading the script that it is imbued with. This is the finest finest script work I have ever seen. Any way I could interest you in staying for another twillet, at least until the light fade pasts, so I can study this, maybe even think about sand. I would trade you. If you allow me to study this in the sand, I will gladly work an enchantment from it for free, if you have the armor.
Without the sword, the blood sand, what even is Ilya?
Yeah,
Like,
You
Very
can't just
polite.
do it like that.
I'm just very polite first pick for a pickup basketball game. I simply do not have the time. We do not have the time to wait, and without that sword, I am of very little use.
We need it to kill a god, Bull says from the other side of the room.
Oliver? Sorry, Oliver.
Yes, actually.
Ilya, you're of great importance. Just look at everyone in this room that wants you to stick around. You've been here only an hour.
They want Now, in fairness, they want my sword and my blood sand to stick around because they are artifacts of incomparable value.
But you're also adorned with trophies of appreciation for the feats you've accomplished, even before you had that sword.
No, I used that sword before it had an extra blessing from the god of natural disasters to kill the Birdman.
Just saying, don't sell yourself short. I'm proud of you.
That's very sweet, Oliver.
just let him have this one, okay? He's proud of you.
Meanwhile, Rotherdine and Wallaby are talking, and Wallaby's talking extensively about what has occurred, what he learned from the Fae girl.
The Fae chick.
Yeah.
Leanne?
Leanne and Shay. Yep, thank you. What he learned from Leanne and Shay. And then he goes into his concerns about Chemo. And that they've learned that Chemo intends to use the stones to hopefully, in Chemo's eyes, he hopes to open a portal that he believes to be at Yggdrasil, or associated with Yggdrasil. And with this, Rotherdine and him entered in this like very concerned conversation. And Rotherdine speaks up. You know, you're gonna have to go there. There's no other way around this, Wallaby. Chemo cannot be allowed to open another hole into dwelling. Even one is terror to Corkeo Corpus is violently unstable. The fact that you're able to reseal it, that the shepherds were able to reseal it behind them is the only comfort I have. But we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what what these stones lead to. You can look towards Rania Lashwell. She headed that way to talk to the Ululation. She might be able to help, but she doesn't know about Chemo. She doesn't know about your efforts. She's only out there looking toward the problem with the Call of the Hunger.
Who was that? Sorry.
It is Rania. One second. I think that's the name right. Rania Ashwild.
Okay.
I know. Just could use a vacation, you know. You're right. After I send this message to Jackal, which is arguably more important, the actions of Leanne and Shay and this Jana are terrifying. You know Jana Mate, yeah? No, I don't. I don't know who Jana Mate is. But he's described as another player. You're right to fear Jana Mate. Jackal will know what to do. Get that? Carrier pigeon or whatever it is off. We should be able to push more information towards getting that situation figured out. So that's the conversation going on in the background.
So Kokeo Corpus is a pretty interesting place. There's a giant squid. They cut off one of its tentacles. That's pretty cool. Pretty rough, though. I guess I'd want to know more about putting that blood sand into some armor, but if you have to spend a twilling on it, then you don't have the time.
I'm afraid with such a finite resource that I'm going to measure twice and cut once. There's no reason for me to push time for something like this. Will you guys be back this way?
I, of course, would want to visit Ollie again. So,
No, no, never again.
so
Please, no.
I hope so.
When do you think Sister will be back? It's been 57 Twillets, Ollie. She's not coming.
Oh, of course you're gonna come back. Oh, oh. What's this?
Love you too, bro.
I don't mean to be a bit of a intruder, but I did my homework for you, says this tall gentleman who's got as close to like peach skin as you could imagine for a Asuelu. So very, very lightly tinged skin, elven knife ears, and he's got very angular features. And while he's lean, he's not necessarily like gaunt. He's got blonde hair in a pulled back in a ponytail. This is Tayan, and he's in dress robes. Nothing fancy, just browns and creams. And he apparently has brought a satchel of homework.
Oh, I'm so glad you looked into this for me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, so, that's the thing. You seem to have found... You found, an interesting thread to pull. I was doing some research on this ephemeria that you'd asked about, and from what I've been able to ascertain, she comes from a family known as the Hellmeyers. And they have what I assume to be a coven out of Holdenford. There, a Lord Rainier presides over the Hellmeyer. They have he goes, now, in my digging, this Rainier, one of the strange things, well, one, they seem to have their fingers in every pie in Holdenford. They seem to have a lot of clout, but strangely enough, I try to look into the pedigree of the Hellmeyer family, and I've got written records that I've found with Lord Rainier's name on them, dating back over 200 years. Now, as a Walundan myself, as an Ace of Walun, that's not strange. I'm 337 years old myself, but I think that can confirm at least that the Hellmeyer family is blessed with what's the word for it?
Longevity.
No, sorry. Leavened blood. Is blessed with leavened blood. Whether or not they're Walund or Asuelun, I don't know, but if the suspicions are true, then they could easily be vampire. Now, their interactions and interest in Holdenford would certainly make sense. And there appears to be some sort of natural ability that Ephemeria has in holding sway over those that she desires to influence. She is a mercenary and seems to be acting acting on anyone for the right price, but her specialty, her family's specialty, is in glamours and building dominance, especially amongst social pressures. And I have to ask, did you perhaps ask around in Holdenford for this information at all?
Yeah. Is that a problem?
I would watch your back if you go back to Holdenford.
Oh, okay.
Even the Iron Cathedral is potentially susceptible to the influence of the Hellmongers. Doing a little bit more digging, if they are vampire in nature, my best guess is that they are beholden to Hader Blood Reveler. They seem to worship it could be that maybe Lord Rainier's a lieutenant of his. But based off of some of the discussions, some of the comments that you made, and off of my research, that's what I've gathered.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, one other item is the contracts she chooses may be arbitrary, but they may be targeted too. We don't know. That's part of how a socialite works. It's philanthropy and can often look wanton and without agenda, but it could be that the contracts that she chooses are brokered through the family.
And I don't suppose you were able to dig up anything about who would have hired her for certain jobs or anything like that?
Do know that she is so she goes, sorry, no, my information on is really more occult in nature and on profane. Logistics like that are something that you would probably have the best chance with the Iron Cathedral. And remembering back, you remember that Ephemera was contracted out. You did talk to them, and she was contracted out by, and I've got it here. 1 second.
I didn't think I had knowledge of who.
Just
For other people, this is the person who took out most of my tribe that I was asking after. So, sorry, should have clarified that.
So we don't like this person?
I don't. I guess that's up to you if you like that sort of thing.
On the
She
fence.
doesn't, but her brother thought he was okay.
Yikes. Guess I should have left him.
He's just such a friendly guy.
One second. I got it here. It sounds like, sorry, you remember back that the only information that they were able to pull was that she was being paid by an onyx by the name of Mazdak. And the Iron Cathedral knows that Mazdak has links to the cries of reparation, but that was obviously obfuscated from the paper trail. But there is direct links that she was being paid out by Mazdak.
Okay, well that's all very helpful. Hayden Blood Reveler. That doesn't sound like such a good guy. That sounds very bad.
Rooster.
Hader Blood Reveler is a profane that, for all intensive purposes, we are under the impression is still in the perverse. But his influence has bled into this world. Despite being despite having the Aegis as a buffer between us and it.
I'm not quite sure what all of that means, but you're saying he's not here, right? That's...
Our hope is that he's not here, but the problem with the profane is that as Wallaby and Rotherdine have been discussing over here, it's in the sapient's nature to go digging where they shouldn't. And opening rifts are easily done from the inside of the world out, rather than from the outside of the world in.
And so if I may ask, I don't know how much you know about this, but she took a lot of my tribe members, and it seemed he made her... Sorry, it sounded like they were under her sort of a thrall. Would they be... What are the chances that they're, still alive?
I'd say the chances are high. Wallaby speaks up.
Really?
Leanne and Shay, she said cages. Archek was after a cage. And that he was getting it from the Onyx. They are making something. Something they didn't want out. Something that the very knowledge of the cages was enough to warrant a gang war that tore up Lemoore. You don't build a cage for dead bodies.
You think the cage is somehow related to my tribe?
Perhaps a profane.
What we know is that Archek was in your force with you, looking for property of the Onyx. When, lo and behold, Onyx in that territory came and took your family. So, to me, awful coincidence.
Can I think back to if there would have been anything that I would have been aware of that would have matched that sort of description, like of a cage or
Yeah.
in my tribe?
Um,
I had never thought about that before.
what would that check be?
No, there's not like a recollection stat, you know what I mean? Like a
Yeah, it's
investigation?
no, I would say it would be do a knowledge people check.
Knowledge people.
Mhm.
I'm sorry to totally sidetrack the...
Well, all so relevant to everything you guys want to do.
Okay.
Means killing Onyx. I'm interested.
Nice. 2 and 2.
There were no cages that you saw, but what you did see was that... Sorry, it's not what you saw, it's what you heard. What Archek said as people were getting ferried away, shackled. And when Archek saw Ephemeria, he said, I can free your brother, but no one else. And I promise you, where they're going is worse than death. Insinuating they're not going to go somewhere to die. And then he killed your brother and you got super mad. And He's
Yeah.
like, hold on. There might be a way to fix this, but I freed him from what he would have been subjected to otherwise.
Okay, I relayed that. I'm not going to repeat it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess a pause or a silence sets over the group.
I guess I'm not sure what any of that means yet, but I appreciate your help, and I know there's more immediate sort of things going on, but thank you. Any-
You talking to G or Wallaby or?
I'm talking to the guy who, or
Oh,
the
Tayan.
girl, Tayan.
Yeah. Of course. If you mean to oppose the profane, then you're a friend to the Ace Wayland, and you always will be.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm not sure that this is the only profane that we're necessarily being asked to, take care of. So maybe we're very good friends at this point. And I kind of look sidelong at Ilya. I would you think that whatever Azralam, his was it son, is he also?
I don't think
Profane?
he'd be considered profane. But he's said that he was found in the Blacklands. You remember that. Anybody gesturing to the group, does anybody know of the Blacklands? Excuse me. Of the Blacklands and how to find passage there?
Black Realm. Tan, go up to the study. Go to the third shelf on the north side. On the far end, you'll find 6 books.
Good.
Grab them for me, please. Tan gets up to head over that way. And as he does, hours have passed. You have made it through the rest of the day, and it's getting into the evening as you guys have talked, and you hear another whistle outside. And you hear Julian go,
It seems my liege has come.
and he starts to stand up, and Wallaby goes, well, suppose I'll help attend to this. Scoots his chair back, stands up.
I thought he was gonna put in his PTO.
Time to get out of here.
Yeah.
No sense in me heading to Yggdrasil alone. I've always thought the first step was was the best way to get a relationship going.
And he walks with Julian to go and attend to Dyra, presumably. Meanwhile, G is looking at the sword. She goes, Do note, You've been blooding yourself with this, haven't you?
Yes.
It has left a mark on the blade. I don't know to what end, but it appears that it is binding with your blood. Do with that what you will. Also, the enchantment from Azralam is fickle. Some of the words change. I'll keep looking at it, but I understand you'll need it back very soon. And while Oliver speaks up, maybe I could help looking at it. Gotta learn sometime, right? Very well. And Oliver sits down and she starts explaining what she's been going over with him. Does anyone have anything they would like to interject? While Tayan is grabbing books for Rothradine and Julian is grabbing, and Wallaby are grabbing
I'd actually like to take a small break because I haven't eaten yet.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. Let's come back at 7:50, and I'm gonna refill my drink. Sound good?
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Josh needs to get a waiting screen of those. Let's go to the lobby. Old time movie theater.
The classy.
Okay. I guess I could have stopped for a second.
What up?
Hooray. Damn. All right, then.
Where, and I'm not like just pounding down like 19 cookies at your house, you know?
But what if they're good cookies?
I know.
Cookies.
My
Yeah,
girlfriend
I can
trusts me
never
for
pass
banana
up
bread.
good food.
No, I can't either.
Yeah. My girlfriend sauced me full of banana bread. I assume to keep me fat, so I'm not attractive to other women. That's my
sounds,
issue.
sounds about right. I can attest to that on this
Yeah.
side.
He's devious with that. I had
It's
to
homemade
climb,
too, so I can't say no.
I had to climb enough stairs
Made with love.
to reach the top of the Burj Khalifa the other day, just to try to keep this, and I'm still gaining.
Yeah.
We all back?
Think so.
I think
Oh,
so.
also, me and Hannah got matching Christmas PJs. It
Oh,
was pretty
that's-
cute.
I saw
Adorable.
those. That was really cool.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
We don't have matching PJs.
So Tayan comes back.
Just ignore that.
What? I missed something.
You're right. Just go.
So Tayan comes back. And he sits down with these books. And the third one down, Rothstein pulls out, and you see him pull out from his pocket this set of like half glasses that he very carefully folds out with his he's got like classic like farmer hands, or like someone who just applied a very manual trade for a long time, just fingers that could just break bricks. And he's gently wiping the lenses clean and puts them on his eyes and opens up this book and starts looking at a couple of them, flipping through them quickly. But just as he finds what he's looking for, about 15 minutes goes by. He goes, right. And then the doors open up. And walking in is Wallaby, who's walking backwards, talking to the rest of these Woolund. And heading the group is this very tall female with hair done up in a really thick braid that goes down, and even braided, it goes down past her shoulders as she's approaching. And she's got a very strong jaw and very, I don't know, is that like it's very, very Scandinavian bone structure, I guess. And she has I would say golden skin, with what appears to be almost like brindle markings along the hairline, kind of trickling into her skin. She's walking forward, and she's got a large glaive. And as she walks in with the rest, Wallaby just finishes up saying something along the lines of, "And I'd be more than willing to accompany you, of course. I can even attest to what's been going on. I could be one of the witnesses." And she kind of looks across the room with this predatory look, and her eyes go from one person to the next slowly, without stopping, but They hesitate on Bull for a moment. She grins, and then she looks towards Rotherdine and turns towards him as he starts to stand, kind of sensing who is like the leader of the room. That the wizened age of Rotherdine just emanates from him, that she can quickly pick up on. You have guessed right. I understand you want to talk to my other guests. Yes. It sounds to me like kinslaying has been afoot. That's of no concern of mine. Know that you will conduct yourself appropriately. You have my word, and the word of all of the Sylvan. I would never disrespect the great halls of the Aesuelu. I'll give you your space. And he looks over at G and Tan, who nod, and they get up for a moment and leave the hall. She strides forward with Julian beside her, and Julian points towards you, Emery, and over to Oliver, and goes,
Those are the Mintonga.
and she sizes you up.
Hi.
What do they call you?
Oh, me? Well, my name's Emery, if that's what you mean. This is Ollie. Hi.
Hello, little morsels.
I am like that. No one's called me that before.
Hello. She looks over at Julian. Well, aren't they just cute?
We're just a little snap.
with that tone, her eyes dart towards Ilya.
The squad leader.
At least they keep appropriate company. I hear you were trancing through our territory, killing my kin.
Was she speaking to me?
Yes.
Yes. They chose to attack us. We
Yes!
defended ourselves, and we were required to take their lives.
Fair. Very fair. Woods are a dangerous place. Sometimes you have to be predator. Sometimes you can't afford to be prey. She kind of leans forward on her glaive. Oliver. Emery.
Yes.
I would love to hear about the Mintonga. But it doesn't seem like the time or place.
Right.
Serious affair has occurred. And we can't sit by while the whole woodlands loses their minds, can we? Would you
Okay.
like that? Is that how they do it in the Gnarlwood?
Well, no, that wasn't usually how we did things in the Gnarlwood. No, and that's not what we want at all, of course, but I have a feeling you're kind of baiting the hook, so to speak. No offense or anything, just, what do you mean exactly? If you wouldn't mind getting there.
think we can all agree the woodlands would be better if there was a unified front. This kinslaying won't do.
Well, it wasn't as if. I mean, your people attacked us.
Yeah. It's just madness. Shame. Shame on those Scylan attacking you. You brave, intrepid world walkers. It's been forever since we've seen the folk of the Gnarlwood, and this is how we treat them. Lucian, you better keep... Julian, you better keep yours on a leash more.
But Dyra, the cause.
I don't think I need to hear about that. If they don't have the will to tone it down when it's not time, then they deserve to die.
You got a
Facts.
raised hand.
Well,
Back in my home area, is there any? What kind of reputation do the Sylvian have?
the Scylan are relatively peaceful. Because you're Flayn, you're arguably from the most aggressive of the tribes. But they've, as you know, they've had a lot of dealings with the Carnation, which, because of their passiveness, has grown out of hand.
Wait. I all of a sudden feel dumb. What tribe is she from?
She's from the Scylan.
She's from the Scylla, not the Flame. Got it now.
She's very reminiscent of the very, very scary Flayon lady.
She is, and so I was getting my wires crossed a little bit. Okay. Thank
Like
you.
the more powerful you are in the forest, the more creepy your doublespeak is.
Yep.
All elves look and sound the same. Malicious fucks.
Hey now.
You tried to strangle a political prisoner with a rope. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but I don't sound like an asshole.
Hey, what has Bull done?
Exactly what we asked you to, Bull. You just keep doing you.
You're also extremely violent. Like, you're violent in our favor, but like,
Extremely violent.
come on.
You're kind of a giant blunder.
Oh, did you see the way he beheaded those 4 guys? Man, elves are a peaceful and cool people.
Oh, you said blender, not blunder. I was like, wow, that was
Oh,
really rude. Like, oh, blender, that makes sense.
Way more sense. Did you have anything you wanted to say, Bull?
No, I was just trying to see if I had any insight into what they were trying to do right now.
Give me a knowledge nature check, quick.
Do I get a homeland boost?
Yes.
I gotta remember how to roll dice. Nature. Does it upgrade or does it boost?
Should give you. I don't know. I think it gives you 2 boosts.
It upgrades.
All right.
God damn it, where's my sheet?
Remember, you guys all have 2 story points.
Yes, sir.
For success.
It's exactly what you needed.
Because right now it sounds like they're trying. Yeah, it does sound like what Emery said, like they're trying to bait something to happen. So I'm just trying to get as Bull, I'm just trying to see if they have like a reputation for pulling shenanigans kind of thing.
So, what that check was for is because you were asking about how violent, etc. The lighting in here is quite dark because remember it is almost black outside. So the hearth is providing light in here. There's a couple of sconces, but with the doors open in the back, the the firelight is coming up and flickering on her face, and you see as she's talking, every now and then her nose will broaden, and her eyes dilate into slits with a yellowish behind them. And it occurs to you as your instincts pick in, you can almost smell it more than see it. The person that you are talking to is a lycanthrope. They are hella dangerous. And they're different from shapeshifters. So, yeah, there is an element to this person that is a little bit more on that side. As far as how lycanthropes work, too, there is a long game to what the purpose of lycanthropes are in this world. That relies on a better understanding of political intrigue and relationships on a whole and ecosystems. But what that basically means is that, yeah, not only are they physically dangerous, but they are cunning as well. So that's what the role was for. However, you were asking about also what's their agenda here, right? And to circle back, because Julian kind of just laid out the cards earlier, they want to call for the trial of submission. And the reason why someone would call for the trials of submission is because they think they can win the trials of submission. Whoever wins the trials of submission gets to lead all of the tribes of the woodlands. So, while she's like, yeah, it sounds like, kinslaying was afoot. Whatever. We gotta stop that. No big deal that you killed my people. I'm not gonna take that personally. They were in the wrong, sure, whatever. She's just trying to get the trial of submission going.
Okay, so she was basically waiting for something like this to happen, and now she's giddy.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so as she's monologuing and doing all this stuff, I'm going to realizing that she's lycanthrope, I'm going to now position myself at the table between my party and their party. Not like threateningly, just like so that I'm in between them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I hope we enjoy our little stay here. Bracken Bastion seems to be... What's the word you folks use? Civilized? Sure, civilized. It's warm. The smell on the fire is very tantalizing. So here's the thing. Bull. Shout out for the flame. Much respect. I was hoping you and you and you, pointing at Oliver and to Emery, would like to come and participate. At least come as witness.
Yeah, we're really not we're more lovers, not fighters, and not that's on the table either, but you know what I mean.
You met us?
No, I mean me, not you, like me
okay.
and Oliver.
We don't have to on the table. We could go upstairs for that.
No, neither of those are. Witness is fine, but also not for that.
Very well.
But
You're a
well,
witness.
but we have a very tight schedule, and well, you see, this
schedules.
isn't really our place either. I mean, we're not home. This isn't our home. So, I mean,
You know, they have to
I want peace in the woodlands. I really do, and I have no beef with any of the tribes. But I don't think it's our place to really, well, take part in any sort of
Also,
battle for this sort of thing, you know?
we swore an oath to not raise a hand against the Flayon.
Yes, we did, and
So for her to participate in this,
I would honor that. I don't.
this brouhaha, put it in technical terms, to participate in this would be violating a strictly sworn oath.
Yes.
The
So
technical terms.
you don't want
Yeah.
to represent the Gnarlwood in the trials. You don't want your people to have a say.
Nope.
Very well. You can come along as a witness alone, to validate the trials. Did you know your comment is starting to show? Schedule is not a word in our native tongue.
Ah,
We don't have the time.
we have other responsibilities that we really need to attend to before any sort of diversions, and I try to keep my word, and if I do this, I can't keep.
It's okay. I can come.
Ollie, you.
Yeah, I don't. Emery, this will be. They said it's fine. I don't have to participate. I just do need to explain what happens. And I'll be there. I certainly be a witness. I mean, I represent no tribe, but I was certainly here. Besides, I've got business in Yggdrasil anyways. Yeah. Wallaby will be there with me. It's okay.
That's very comforting.
He's got no plans. Very well, then. Hey, where are you headed anyways?
Out of the woods.
Good luck with that. You will have to pass through through Deerman territory. Say, you know what would get you through without contest?
Me.
I can imagine. How about being an emissary with maybe say word for Watandu last that the call for the trials of submission have been made? You bring word to him that the trials will begin at Yggdrasil when the great fire burns out. And I'm sure he'll let you walk on through.
Was well able to relay that information.
I was out of character really quick. We met this guy, that guy before, right? And he was trying to unite some of the clans, and these ones were ones that weren't willing to be alongside
He
him.
united the keepers and the Tekeknu and said, if you guys stand behind me, I can protect you against the other tribes.
Okay.
Because if the bug people from Paratisium and the Dryads, if they didn't bend the knee to him, he would have sided with the rest of the Wooland, and it would have been a fire sale. They would have come through and butchered tons of the bug people and tons of the Dryads. and the timber.
So there's this wild, wild idea of sort of like not just one ruler, but like heads of different factions that get together in a sort of council, and they all chat and come up with different ideas. Is that ever something you guys had thought about? I mean, sometimes civilization has good ideas to shoot us forward.
You're talking about the Viven ways. Oh, if you came with us, you could see the ululation in practice. Too bad you just don't have time to come.
And I look over at Wallaby and I'm like, you'll be with Oliver, and that's a comfort. You'll take care of him.
Absolutely.
Oh.
You just choke?
He hiccuped.
Okay. I was like, Wallaby.
Choked on a chicken bone, dies. All of his
Josh
threads,
is really tired of this character, you guys.
all of his threads instantly become mandatory side quests.
Are you sure you're up with you want to do this, Ollie?
I feel like getting to witness what you were willing to do for me woke me up to the big world out there. It's time I stopped hiding, but at the same time, it doesn't mean I need to live on a razor's edge. No offense.
Yeah, but it's very exciting. At least I have friends.
Do you?
Maybe I don't.
You do go down a lot.
You guys
Yeah.
always pick me back up.
This
I
is turning
think it's pretty
inspirational. I'm kind of here for it.
Too funny.
So it's settled then. We'll stay here for the night. Oliver can come with me. And you, Wallaby. The rest of you, go ahead and carry information to Watandu last. And we part our ways.
That sounds amenable, right, guys?
It sounds like she's giving us orders.
Ah,
Very subtly proposing an agreement that we were forced into because of circumstances.
yep.
But hey, what do you do?
I'm not saying you need to do anything, big boy. You can do whatever you want. Speaking of which, Wallaby, which room am I staying? Oh, you guys can take.
Stop dying.
There's a guest tower. As soon as you walk in, on the right-hand side, go ahead. Take any of those rooms. There's beds in there. There are these things. I know what a bed is. Thank you, Wallaby. She turns around, and the Woolen to leave.
It's okay if Wallaby dies because you can just bring him back, Wretch.
Can't bring him back if he's not there, though. You know?
In spirit.
You know, you grab some woolen gristle, you pour a bottle of rum over it, and you put on the Sean Connery accent. He'll come back together.
Nice.
So, Rotherdine comes back, And
Hold on. After the wool end leave and before everybody else comes back in, I'm going to whisper in Mallory's ear.
Nope.
Emery.
Or, God damn it, not Mallory, Emery's ear. And I'm going to be like, she's a lichen. We need to keep an eye on them.
Oh, I didn't realize that's
What does
rare.
that mean?
I assume it's rare.
yeah, you've only met one other Lycan, and that was Watandu last.
Oh, he is too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I'm not sure I trust her. I'm worried about Ollie being with her, to be honest, but I don't really know a more peaceful way out of this.
As far as I understand it, sister, there's really no one we can trust until Cinder's taken care of. You guys been working on that too, huh? Rotherdine speaks up.
Okay, wait, no. Wretch is giving Ollie the biggest what the fuck, like arms out, palms up, like what? There's no one you can trust? Your boy is like straight up immune to this.
I mean, sorry, there's no one. A lot of folks aren't under their own will right now. I mean, sister, you haven't been yourself. I've seen that look in your eyes, and you've got the heart of gold, just like Wretch over here.
Yeah.
Remarkably manages to keep his soul just as fluffy as his fur. Rotherdine,
Keep the hand away from the ears.
Listen to him, he's a liar.
Rotherdine goes, I couldn't help but overhear you guys are working on the cinder problem too, huh?
Working on
Among
it
other
is
things.
generous.
This is our local expert on the matter, actually, and I point to Wretch.
What up?
He's like half stuffing his face.
There's a channeler of his on the Ululation by the name of Rondadrolf. Rondadrolf is a werewolf. That's 3 lycanthropes.
Good, I thought this was going to get complicated.
Maybe it's less rare than I thought.
Sent Rania Ashwild to investigate, hoping that maybe she'll find some information on what's been going on with Cinder and all his folks. After Anubo came back, made us concerned, especially after we'd already had so many Ace Wayloon who've been feeling the call lately. Call for us. Tan speaks up. The call for us is different than the hunger. To us, it's the sense that you need to go out and hunt profane beings, and it's always been an itch, a wanderlust that our people have felt. And as you can see, our halls are empty. We have a feeling that maybe the call of the hunger has been mixing with the instincts
Is it?
of our people.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Is it Cinder who calls you too?
No,
Like,
it's really nothing like that. It's really just more of a wanderlust than anything else. But it drives our people to do what we do, and it's a lifestyle, not more than it is magical. So anyways, any information you have on this could be useful for us, and vice versa, but I found some information on the Black Realm. Gave me a chance to look it up while you guys were having your conversation. The Black Realm, as far as we understand it, used to be what we only can surmise to be a faceted dwelling. Are you familiar with the other... one second. Are you familiar with the other planes?
As a concept, I think we are.
Yeah. Sure. Some of them, anyway, right?
Yeah, only been to the one besides this one.
Besides this one. Oh, yeah. Azron. Okay. I almost had questions and I remembered.
It is our understanding that dwelling where we live is but one facet of the great creation of the artists. Corkeo Corpus is another one. We have had dealings with pocket spaces theoretically devised by the artists before. But we've also had dealings with rifts into the perverse. The place, the space that is altogether unowned by the artists that created this world. The Black Realm is said to be a facet dwelling. Or at least it was. Now I've had to go into some really old dwarven texts to find any record dating back before even Utica existed. But therein I have found reference that back when the world was young, there was a great cataclysm. And it is said that the Black Realm was torn into before the artists ever devised protection for this world. And as they tore into the Black Realm, it mingled with the perverse. It has become a tainted shadowland. A facet of what our world could be if the Asuelun didn't do what we strive for. If the Sisimido and the artists didn't exist. There are many tales in these books, collections. Few things I've been able to find is that the civilization that existed in the Black Realm is very old. Very, very old. But we don't know if they still exist. Or if they're gone, completely wiped from exposure to the things, the profane. I do know that there are legends in these books that as the Outlanders came to help the artists, that the some dragons were tasked in reclaiming the Black Realm. The Black Dragons are said to be sentinels there, and residing at the buffers between the Black Realm and the other facets of dwelling. You asked if there was any legends or any way I can help pinpoint a location for you to get into this Black Realm. And I think we could potentially search for legends, histories, and sightings of black dragons. But that'll take more time. And as you guys know, you already have a suspected entry point that he isn't aware of, which is in the Lamar.
Isn't it that weird basement lab?
Yep.
It's worth a shot. Something unpleasant came out of there.
That's all very useful information for us. Thank you, but we might not need you to look into that for now. I think we have a concrete lead to follow as far as the Black Realm goes, and don't think we need to necessarily follow any Black Dragon sightings at this point, unless you guys think otherwise.
Yeah. Rotherdyne, they've, actually, I think they've seen entrance back in Lamar. His eyes go wide. We were not aware of that one.
Yeah, it kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Please. If you do go in, come back. More than anything, we need to close that rift. We may be able to
drop a building on it.
Dropping a building on it is okay for now. But that is the land of shadow. It takes very little space for shadows to manifest. I think we can all agree. Besides, having you guys given him a summary of what... you guys told him about your quest, right? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I believe we did.
Okay. Besides, if you've got business over there from a Sismido or an artist, from an artist, straight from an artist, then I'll hope that you have it under control for now. If you don't come back, I'll put it on our list to make sure we can contract with sorry, 1 second. Oh no, there's 54 references to this. I can't control F. Here we go. Make sure we can contract with the Ecclesia to get it sealed. I don't want to do it behind you. With you still in there, though.
Right, we do have something we have to do there first. But afterwards, I would think it's a unanimous vote here that we'd want something like that closed up.
Yes.
Yep.
She
The only
speaks
thing
up.
worse than
Huh?
the only thing worse than what was in that basement is surely what's behind that portal. Something got out.
I will write to the Ecclesia and get this set up then, says G.
What's the Ecclesia again?
The Ecclesia is the massive bureaucracy for the Onyx race in the Highlands.
Oh, well, maybe we don't want to talk to them at all. Just kidding.
As long as we don't talk to them.
To be fair, though, like
we'll be clear out of the way.
Like having problems with a gang or a radical sect is different than having problems with a nation.
Yes. I'm just saying we might not want to be there when they close it, just in case.
Yeah.
In case one of the rock people recognize me.
Yeah.
We all look the same to them.
Probably.
All soft and squishy.
Right.
Can't tell the difference.
Hey,
You're not a rock. You're very strong, but you're not a rock.
This is for Cobalt. Stab. Well, I think we've all had a lot to process for one day.
And then I didn't hear the rest of it.
He just said Oliver's not going to have time to hang out because he's got to go with Dyra. Anyways. Okay. Anything you guys want to do before bed?
I just have a quick mechanics question. Are lichens beasts?
No, they're sapient.
Okay, so when they take a form, are they beasts?
No, they're sapient.
Okay.
Boo.
They'd be considered like Sisimido. So, like, is Cinder a beast? No, he's a god.
So they're gods. I'm just kidding.
I mean, they're kind of channelers. Like, Wretch.
Again.
Wretch isn't that dangerous. We'll be fine.
Yeah, not really anymore. I started making my character to be dangerous, and then I got Bull and Ilya, and I'm like, I'm a support now.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? I think we've got that covered.
And
Yeah, all my points have gone towards support from then.
And with that, you guys gain 25 XP.
Oh no!
Oh no?
I hate XP.
Liar.
Well, then, since you hate it so much, you get 50.
His XP.
Wait.
I thought you were gonna say that you get some
I was
of
gonna
it.
say, his XP can just be passed amongst you guys.
I spend my my watch time at night reading to them, and that gives them.
You know what? No. You know what? I volunteer my XP to go towards Oliver instead, so he doesn't fucking die on this mission. I'll give half my XP.
You know what? He also gains 25 XP.
Okay, thank you.
He also dies during that mission.
Right? He's
And Wretch isn't there to save him.
he
Yeah.
gained 50 XP, getting out of Corkeo Corpus. So at this point, he's like a level 4 character.
Great. I hope he put that all into not dying.
So, Grit is that 5 XP per rank?
Yes.
Okay.
If it's tier 1, yes.
And then tier 2 is 10 XP?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Nice. Do you leave your blood here?
I need an enchanter to make use of it. We're probably coming back.
Are we, though?
We'll come back as long as we're alive.
Yeah, like I want to come back for my blood. There's me in there.
And Sarah has the friendly version of a hostage here. Like
Friendly. It's called a family member. You can just.
It's
There's a shorter word for that.
It's a
I meant
war.
like an anchor. There's an anchor
Yes.
bringing you back.
Yeah.
Huh.
They also might have more about the hunger at some point, so. Theoretically. A
I
few
thought that was
hooks
just
to come back.
I'm hungry enough as it is.
I'm a little hungry.
Are you? you guys okay?
Not even a little bit. That's why I need to get back to Lemoore. Which is not something I thought I would
I'm
ever
okay
say.
after the tea, but I don't know what's going to happen to us during the night here, if we're going to do another test or not, but I'm very close to losing it.
Me too, buddy.
So, as you stay the night, 1, you ate a hot meal, so you heal 2 HP instead of 1.
Great.
And you do not have to test here at the Bracken Bastion.
Awesome.
Oh, I guess the one thing I would have done after the meeting is I would have gone to find like the medical center and see if I could get some healing.
What's your health?
I'm at half. I've got 10 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah.
After the hot meal.
I would say G would be able to buffer your recovery a little bit, but just since it's due to natural rest, it's something that's going to take time, and you can recover 3 additional healing with some extra spices added to your meal and whatnot, basically applying medical herbs.
And max ranks in toughened is 5.
Max ranks in toughened is 10. Wait.
That-
No, maybe. Yeah, 10.
Because size matters takes 2.
Yep.
So you capped it at 10.
Yep. Everything else, so most other things are 5.
Okay,
For
so
ranked
grit
stuff,
and
but-
toughened are 10.
Yep, that's the max that you can get with those.
Okay. What?
Yeah, you can get
And-
real thick. It's almost like what you need to survive being hit by things like Cinder.
And also, since you have size matters, every 2 ranks of toughen gives you another boost to your size matters checks.
I don't have size matters.
Oh, I thought you did.
No,
Nope,
he's
because you
got
had Bull
shield.
Rush.
He's got bull rush, not size matters.
Okay. Well, keep that in mind then. If you get size matters, every 2 ranks in toughened will give you a boost die for your athletics checks.
Oh. It's neat.
Night comes. Bull, do you take up Dyra's offer to sleep with her?
Oh, that's what that was?
I did not read it as that. Wow.
I thought she was talking to Wallaby.
I
when
thought
asked
she was
about-
talking to Wallaby too.
Yeah, I misheard that whole situation.
No.
Okay.
That's
You don't need to sound so angry about it.
He is like so exhausted, he basically like falls asleep at the table.
funny.
Fair. And then with that, the dawn rises on the next day. Still pitch black out. I assume that you guys would like to get the hell out of here.
Yep.
Mayhaps.
Yeah.
Okay. Heading out from here towards Lemoore, you guys are going to inevitably run across the Deerman tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to discuss how you are preparing to handle that? Are you going to try to stealth around them? Are you going to make yourself presence known?
I assume if we want to be making good time, I've got to be playing the bushwhacker again.
Yeah, and going through, I would think that we would do
And
what she
bushwhacking is
asked.
not stealthy.
And deliver that message as requested. So if there's a way to kind of, I know it's not the equivalent of a white flag type of a thing, you know what I mean?
Yep. No, there is. Yep. So you would like to attempt to travel with the equivalent of a white flag, which I
if
believe
everyone's
is,
okay with that, that's just my opinion.
which would be
Yeah,
in this
I don't
world,
wanna fight.
it's a yellow flag, not to make things more confusing than they need to be.
With a yellow flag.
Or we could just not look like us.
But I do want to deliver that message, because it'd be pretty douchey to not deliver the message, and then they're like, oh, you didn't show up to this thing? Well, because the messenger didn't tell you that you were supposed to be there, so... You know?
Well, all it can do is hurt her and keep her from getting in power, right?
No, it would just hurt the Deerman tribe.
Good.
All right. And then, so you guys are going to attempt to not be stealthy, and you're going to attempt to approach in a way that would broker conversation, rather than like.
That'd be my
Yeah.
vote.
Okay, perfect.
But whatever everybody else wants is cool.
You're the ranger. Well, the closest thing we're gonna get.
I don't really know what I am.
Yeah.
Like,
Lead on, Legolas, but with magic.
that's not exactly what this is.
And riding a deer made of sticks.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We don't want to fight.
A really long deer that we could all ride.
Yeah.
A 6-legged deer? Huh?
So just
Well, that'd make us awfully close.
just to recap here real quick, where is this?
Or like a forest elephant?
I will need to find that in the level up tree, but don't you worry, I'm on it. I'm sure I can get it for 25 XP.
We left our forest elephant behind at our last stop.
That guy was more like a library nerd elephant, to be fair.
But he was in a forest, wasn't he?
Not originally, but that is fair.
So you guys are here, obviously. It is 8 days before the next toilet, and you have to get to Lemoore. So it is, roughly speaking, a 3-day trip to here. 2 more days, so it's a 5-day trip to get out of here. And then it is arguably a 4-day trip, meaning 9 days to get to Lemoore, and you have 8 days. So you need to haul ass in order to get there at this point.
Yep.
Before we have 8 days before what happens again?
Before you miss the due date that you had a contract to be entered into the slag grinder and basically Coliseum style fight someone for ammo.
Yeah, so at that point, we would have to reach out to the professor and tell him we're not going to finish our assignment on time and see if he's going to take pity on us, if we're going to get partial credit or an extension, or...
What if...
we get 0.
Can we skip a couple nights of sleeping?
I mean, that's not a
If
question
we had
for
a
me.
really long deer, we wouldn't have to worry about it.
True. Okay. Question 1, really long deer? Question mark. 2, I mean, we could do a schedule of like, we need to make up a day, right? And it's going to be an 8-day trip. We could do 3 nights, not in a row, but 3 nights planned throughout the trip that we just keep slogging.
Yeah.
Like, go to, 2 normal days, and then the 3rd day, slog. 2 normal days, 3rd day, slog.
I would also...
And the 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24 hours made up.
One thing you guys have too is there's the Buckums on the way, and they could help with.
We actually have friends. Don't forget.
Yeah.
We do. We could ask them to get us their lickety split.
So you make up some time there.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, 9 days is how long it would take to get there if you guys traveled in the right direction in this very confusing place that night. It is how long it would take if other tribes don't hold you up. It is, yeah, so.
Yes, that is all true. So
I
you're
am still
saying
really
we can
confused
change.
on why we're getting so worked up over it, too. Like, Bull is like, why are we going back to
first and foremost, to get out of the call of the hunger.
Yeah, I'm more using it as an excuse so that I'm not a homicidal maniac. I mean, totally normal, and that's not what's going on here. Like, anything to reset the counter on you and me at this point.
Right.
If we gotta fight in the slag ground here, I think you guys want me to be violent, though.
I don't think you
Valid.
need the call of the hunger for that. You're just
I'm sure
just
it's
like
there.
Ilya. He doesn't need the call of the hunger to be violent. It comes naturally for our characters.
Somewhere in your heart. Okay. Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to say to anyone before you guys head?
So when I said bushwhacking, I do mean that I'll be like in front so we can walk in as straight of a line as possible.
Mm-hmm. And I will guide him based on what I remember of this trip before.
Okay. And you guys have a yellow cape that you are ostensibly borrowing from, or you guys can just say
Sure.
a cloak that you'll wear. Okay. Cool. It is 8:48.
Yep.
So that is where we'll pick up next time.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Well,
We'll spend some XP purely on health.
Smart.
Is that what we're doing?
That's what I'm
No,
doing.
there's a lot of cool talents that I want to go get. Josh keeps hinting that some